Hi everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Gary Lindsay, Grammy-nominated arranger, composer, educator, and author. Gary is here to talk to us about linear writing and reharmonization.
Hi everyone. I'm going to use an example from Giant Steps that I wrote for the Miami Saxophone Quartet. And in this example, you'll hear, first of all, it's approached more like writing for string quartet than writing for saxophone section. There's a lot of linear writing, there's a lot of counterpoint, there's echoing of ideas, and quite a bit of reharmonization. So we'll start it off with this first example. In this first example, you see the melody is traveling through the saxophones and that it's based on Giant Steps chord changes. Sometimes I deviate from those chord changes, so I kind of let my mind go where it seems that the melody wants to move. So heavy on the counterpoint and dialogue. Also, you'll notice now in the next example that there's a lot of chromaticism, and you'll see it especially between the soprano melody and the baritone. The strongest voice leading there is a chromatic scale or half steps. So it's very easy to use that technique for reharmonization. And with all the parts, it kind of gives us a spread out feeling. In the next example, you'll notice the baritone is independent and also that there's an interval relationship between the top and the bottom, the soprano and the baritone, that's a major 7. So that creates a certain effect with whatever else is happening with the voices in between. Intervals between saxophones is another experiment that I work in. So in the beginning of this example, you'll notice the soprano and alto are in fourths, but the baritone and tenor are in sixths. So it creates different textures when it's not just a four-way close or a drop 2 voicing to use different intervals. And also in this example, you'll notice that I take an idea and I speed the idea up and go up an octave. So you'll hear both of those things. I continue with fifths in the soprano and the alto again, more dialogue coming in, and it continues the counterpoint, moving through it. Continuing with the fifths, and I'm also starting with a voicing that's relatively wide and continuing to contract down until I get to the last part of that quarter note triplet, which it's interval of a fourth between the top and the bottom. Coming up here continues everything that we've talked about so far. In addition, movement, as you will see in measure 24, where the melody is moving by a third, but the inside voices are all moving by half steps. So we have this effect. Okay, and then that continues to expand until we have a voicing that gets so wide that the top 2 saxophones are in major 7s, and a 6 below that, and then it continues in 6s and a 9th on the bottom. So very wide voicings, but interesting colors from that. In measure 27, the top 2 saxes continue in 6s, but it gives you the idea that we're in 2 different keys at the same time. The baritone and tenor sound like B major, but the alto and soprano sound like G minor. So there's suspension that gradually comes down in 6s and suspends. the last example demonstrates triads over bass notes, very common technique. And you'll hear various triads over bass notes, again, hinting at giant steps, but with different harmonization. Now we'll hear the Miami Saxophone Quartet live CD playing the introduction to giant steps. So my approach to this writing for saxophone quartet, where we don't have any duplication of alto or tenor, one soprano, one alto, one tenor, one bari, is to try to get textures that you don't typically hear in a saxophone section. And that's a result of the way the voice leading happens with half-step movement in under voices, and also various intervals, perfect fifth intervals, major seven intervals, that create more open texture. That, along with dialogue between voices, keeps it moving and keeps it interesting. To hear the complete arrangement, check out Miami Saxophone Quartet live. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head over to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.